any time throughout this process, you're 3 flights away from going home. So you fail a ride, you go to a progress check with your flight commander, you pass that ride, continue on in the syllabus. You fail that ride, you're on an elimination ride with your squadron commander. It's a tremendous amount of pressure because you have this in the back of your head and you see it happen. Is just, you have a bad week and your hopes and dreams are gone.
When you get to flight school, how long is it before you're actually in a plane off the ground?
It varies, but I think it's like you're waiting to start, because like any program that's managing a large number of people, they might not flow you in immediately. I think I sat for like 2 months just waiting to start. Then I want to say it's 6 weeks of ground school. And I think that included some simulator time, and then you're in the air with your instructor.
What's the first plane you flew?
Well, they did send me to get a private pilot's license in a Cessna, kind of after, I think it was after college, but before pilot training. And then the first military plane I flew was the T-34C with the Navy. So I was in an exchange program. Took a handful of Navy and Marines and put them through Air Force primary training. And then handful of Air Force guys went and trained with the Navy.
How'd that feel your first time up?
Oh, it was incredible. It was almost surreal. It was like, I can't believe I actually am pulling this off, But, and then you quickly snap to it because you're behind the aircraft. So they talk about just hanging from the vertical stab, like things are happening before you can compute what you're supposed to do. So say there's a certain amount of tasks, even just for something simple as coming into land. So as you're on short final, you're getting ready for short final, you need to drop the flaps, get below a certain airspeed, drop the landing gear. You're going through all these tasks. Well, now you're inside of the minimum range to get all those things done because your central processor's just bogged down. You're still thinking about what you messed up 10 minutes ago.
Damn.
So it just hits you like, okay, this is incredible. I can't believe I made it here. And I don't know if I'm going to be good enough to actually do this because it just seems overwhelming. You're looking at all the instruments, you're behind, and it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I tried to fly once at a Cessna. I ran it into the middle of the... I didn't get very far. I ran it into the grass median at the airport, and the guy that was teaching me was like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
That's so funny.
I didn't know you steered with the pedals.
That's a bad instructor.
Hey. It was... Plus, I don't like heights. But, what kind of stuff are you learning in ground school?
You're just learning the systems of the aircraft. You're learning some basic aerodynamics. You're learning about aviation weather. Just going through the main emergencies for, how you're going to handle these different malfunctions that can happen in the airplane. So they say it's like trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose, and that's what it feels like. So they're just blasting you with information for 8 hours a day, and you're trying to absorb it all. And
are there I just want you to go through the whole timeline, of your experience.
Yeah.
So you go to ground school, 6 weeks, then you're in the air for the first time in a military craft. Is it broken up into phases?
Yeah, exactly. So there's what they call a contact phase, which is just basic of flying the aircraft, daytime, visual flight rules. So similar to kind of the stuff you'd learn in a Cessna. So just how to fly in the pattern, how to land the airplane, how to get out to the airspace, how to recover from stalls. It's just the fundamentals of flying in the most kind of benign environment possible. So then you go through and there's or it's not necessarily in this order, but there's instrument phase. So now you're learning how to fly when you can't see outside just by looking at your instruments. And there's aerobatics, formation phase, low level, and then kind of tying it all together.
So when you guys, I'd love to get a little more descriptive on each phase, but when you got as they continue to sort the class out, does the class get broken up, or is it all the same pipeline?
You're all in the same pipeline. So you're all going through, and if someone gets ahead, they'll kind of slow them down, and then people catch up. And at any time throughout this process, you're 3 flights away from going home. So you fail a ride, you go to a progress check with your flight commander. You pass that ride, continue on in the syllabus. You fail that ride, you're on an elimination ride with your squadron commander or someone he designated to do that for him. So it's a tremendous amount of pressure because you have this in the back of your head and you see it happen. It's just, you have a bad week and your hopes and dreams are gone.
Damn.
So you see that guy who shows up Monday morning, no problems, and started out process Friday afternoon.
Damn. What's the attrition rate like?
I don't know exactly. It's not that high. I want to say like 10, 15% when I was going through. And they have a pretty thorough vetting process. So by the time you get there, you've probably have a pretty good GPA through college. You've done through all the standardized testing. So I think they do a pretty good job of finding the people who it's just not for. And then if you're having a hard time, they might have a community that would make sense for your skill set. So say you barely make it through formation phase. Well, there's aircraft you can fly that don't necessarily fly in close formation all the time, So if you're capable and you're good enough to get there and you don't quit, there's a pretty good chance I'll get you through.
Okay.
But when you're going through that as a student, you don't feel that.
What did you find to be the most challenging part of flight school?
Well, all of flight school, so after you finish the T-34, then you're track selected, as I mentioned. So I'm off to the T-38. Now I'm in Vance Air Force Base in Oklahoma, and I'm flying a 150-knot prop airplane to flying a supersonic jet with a tiny wing, which the syllabus has you soloing in like 6 rides. So that entire program of the T-38 was excruciating. Like I have never felt that level of stress in my life. So just trying to keep up. I'm the kind of guy who has a slow learning curve. So there's standards, right? Like little milestones along the way. And then you hit an end of block and a check ride. So I get to the end of the block and check ride and my learning curve keeps going up. And then I hit where I'm supposed to be at that, like exactly when I have to, and then start over like sucking.
Damn.
So, and in my mind, I'm like, if I don't get an A-10, like this whole thing was for nothing. And like, there was one A-10 out of my entire class. So I'm feeling like.
Are you serious? So do you know, hold on. So do you know what the slots are that you're competing for? Like when you show up to flight school, are they saying, we got one A-10 slot, we got 2 C-17 slots, we've got 6 F-22 slots?
You don't know exactly, but you kind of have an idea just based on the trend data.
Okay.
So you kind of see where it's going, and you realize like typically there was 1 per class. A couple F-16s, F-15E, and like a couple F-16s, F-15E, and an F-15C. That was like pretty standard. So if you have a single-minded goal of what you want to fly, you might be very disappointed because threading that needle is very difficult.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.